Yo, 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 what is good, y'all? My name is A Sincere Young Cinny. We're gonna jump right into it because this is a quick dive. And if you know the
Yes,
trend to the Soundflick podcast, our quick dives are never quick. So let's go and try to fix
we're
that.
trying.
On
We're
my
trying.
right hand virtual side, my right hand virtual side,
Skywalker Mike. Yes.
gang.
And this your boy Narik. That's cool.
Hey, what's good, brethren? How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing wonderful, man.
Actually,
Here to talk
just
about this what if right now.
yeah. So we'll be covering episodes 6 through 9. So if you didn't catch 1 through 5, go click that. It's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and everything. But this one we will be covering the last 4 and pretty much starting off after the zombie episode.
Mhm.
We got the Eric Killmonger episode.
What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark?
Yeah.
Which is a
Let's
pretty
jump.
crazy concept,
Yeah.
honestly. I
Because
was
it's very
like,
early in the timeline for Killmonger to
First
be showing
yes,
up.
episode, yeah, first episode, first
yes.
movie
First
technically. If
movie,
it
yeah.
was, yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
much like it takes place in the frame of Iron Man 1. But then it also has a Black Panther aspect to it.
Yeah. So I was
Which
like,
right,
is it's crazy.
they kind of like condensed the whole years. Like literally, Black Panther happened what 10 years after Iron Man.
Yeah.
right,
So it's pretty crazy that they finally brought that, and they included the 10 rings, even though obviously they were part of the
right.
episode. The first movie of
It gave
Iron
me
Man.
the vibes of. I literally lost my train of thought. It just gave me the vibes that kind of like how Loki did. How Loki was basically picked up from where the first Avengers started, so it basically negated all the character development we got from Loki.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of idea I got when I started watching this. And at this point, we finally recognize that what if is basically not just like lore, but it's like is very like possible and true to these characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
a lot of the stories, I think if not all the stories are 100% canon. So it's going to be very interesting going forward. But in this episode, not only does Killmonger save Tony Stark doesn't turn into Iron Man or has the will to, you know, save himself
Mhm.
and turn into Iron Man then. So
Right.
it kind of hinders him from becoming that Avenger and saving pretty much the whole galaxy
He
and the
just
universe.
continues to be the weapons manufacturer
Mhm.
Mhm.
rather than becoming the weapon, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
which is pretty crazy. I mean, I like how they highlighted his alcoholism a little bit more,
Mhm.
which is like kind of true to the character.
The
Like he
Right.
didn't he
McKellen.
didn't really like
I
grow,
spilled
you
my
know?
McKellen, so that should be a war crime.
Yeah.
I was like,
You know,
damn.
but it's funny. Killmonger kind of took on like it made me feel like Peter, like
Hmm.
that was to Iron Man, that was like Spider-Man. He was like waiting
Yeah.
for somebody who was just
Yeah.
as smart as him that he can create
Yeah.
things with. And when they were constructing,
The
the
Gundam.
armor together, yeah, the Gundams pretty
The
much.
Gundams, yeah.
Uh, that's what it reminded me of, which
Yeah.
is pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Tony said, if we don't succeed, at least we created the largest working Gundam. And I was like, and even Eric Killmonger's like, what? I love anime. And I'm like, that's comic.
Yeah,
It's just a
which is a
little witty
dope
thing.
callback to him wearing Vegeta's colors and kind of having like a
Mhm.
Vegeta
Right.
outfit on, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think it's safe to say, like, I remember the debate when Black Panther first came out. Everyone was like, Killmonger's not a villain, he's an anti-hero. But I'm just like, yeah,
He
this guy's a
he
No,
o
villain,
he's a
bro.
villain. He's a villain, straight
he
up.
only works for himself. I mean, this whole episode, he's super deceptive, just really getting like trying to get into people's good graces and then
Right.
automatically like flipping
Mhm.
it. And I mean, just like in Black Panther, he didn't really have a side. It was always pretty much the same objective he was trying to do in Black Panther was the same
Right.
one here, just in a
Mhm.
different way and trying to attack Wakanda and then fight with them.
Yeah, he still had that plan, and which was pretty crazy, like how they made it happen and made it make sense with including Rhodes in there and including
Mhm.
Right.
T'Challa also, and
And Claw, Ulysses Claw.
and Claw,
Yeah.
so they kind of had a little bit of Age of Ultron
Hmm.
in there too, which was interesting because without Tony becoming Iron Man, Ultron
Right.
never existed in
Hmm.
that reality.
Right.
So they had to kind of
Yeah,
like fill that void.
the power
Um,
vacuum. Mhm.
exactly, and that was pretty cool. Just kind of seeing that, and then he ended up taking out Rhodes and T'Challa, which I didn't think that they would kill off
with the
T'Challa in
sonic
a What
taser.
If episode. Yeah, man, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
And
I
they
didn't
I
think so.
mean, when they had him in that coffin, the floating coffin, and then it said Wakanda forever in the Wakanda letters, like,
Mhm.
that was that just hit harder than just Black Panther dying in an episode,
Right.
Yep.
'cause,
Yep.
I mean, that's Chadwick Boseman, so
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems like they did everything they can to honor
yeah,
Chadwick in
to
every
commemorate
episode
him.
that he was in. Because
Mhm.
obviously, when we first started watching this, we thought we were getting one episode, right?
Yeah,
We thought we were getting
I thought it was
T'Challa
gonna
only.
be yeah, I thought that was it, and then I think he has the most appearances in episodes, and
Definitely.
maybe
I think
Tony Stark
Tony
and
yeah,
Captain Marvel.
I think Tony has he had, like, 5 or something like that.
Yeah, in every
And
episode, Tony got
there
got.
was one where he
Mhm.
actually didn't the episode didn't come through, but we'll talk about that a little later.
Mhm.
One of the things I noticed about the episode is that I don't it is something that was talked about early in the season about absolute points or things that
Yeah.
can't be
Mhm.
changed or altered no
Mhm.
matter how hard you try.
Mhm.
And he even talks about it in the kinda like in the last episode with the Infinity Stones, but I feel like Eric Killmonger is never supposed to be the actual Black Panther, and he can never
Mhm.
do it, like, it
Mhm.
won't ever happen no
Right.
matter how hard he tries.
Mhm.
So, I thought that was something pretty interesting that I caught on to.
I think it's
Yeah.
more so he can never win.
Yeah,
Like no matter what,
kinda like with the
Well,
Doctor
that's
Strange
kinda like
episode.
Loki. Yeah, Loki can never win. That's his absolute point.
right.
Mhm,
But I agree with Skywalker on Killmonger always, like, having something up his sleeve, I
mhm,
don't think that he'll ever be fully good. I don't think we'll ever see that.
yeah,
Um, which, I
sadly.
mean, is interesting because,
It's cool though,
like,
I mean,
he's
he
yeah,
plays the character well, and, I mean,
Right.
to change the character just to make him win like that, it wouldn't it would just alter the whole chemistry of the character itself.
yeah.
Right.
This episode was definitely one of the episodes where I felt like, okay, each episode is connecting into another. The only
Right.
time I really felt that was with the first episode with Aaron Carter, with Agent Carter. Um, because it had like that extra with her coming out of um whatever I guess like was it Tesseract coming out of the Tesseract and
Mm,
meeting with Nick Fury. So I was like, okay, there's gonna be some continuation. But
yeah,
every episode after that kind of like like, even if it left off on a cliffhanger, it
Right.
just, like, fulfilled the story,
yeah,
right? And then this one kinda ended in a cliffhanger where I was like, "Oh, wait, they're kinda leading up to something. Like,
yeah,
this is gonna turn into
yeah,
something."
yeah, this next one, the Thor in Las Vegas, if pretty much if Thor never had Loki as his brother
Yeah,
growing
so
up.
episode title, episode
Yeah.
7 of What If is what if Thor were an only child, where Odin does not keep Loki for himself and gives him back to his people.
Mm.
Mm.
Norik, I know you know the name. I'm spacing
Frost
out.
Giants?
The Frost Giants?
Yeah,
Jotunheim?
there you go.
Jotunheim.
Jotunheim.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that Loki is given back to the Jotunheim, and it's funny because you got that meme off of it where like Loki in the MCU, very small and scrawny. Then you
Yeah.
get the
He's
what if.
the
Yeah,
The
he's
Frost
all
Giant
huge
yeah, he's
version.
blue.
big as shit, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they actually
Yeah.
showed that Loki, the blue Frost Giant one in the Loki show and the little
Mhm.
hologram.
Yeah,
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
thought was really cool, and, I think a lot of people were looking forward to that. They were like, "What if Loki actually grew to be a giant?"
Yeah,
Like, him just being blue
yeah.
isn't really enough, but him being
Yeah.
a giant is crazy.
It's cool that they still included Loki into the episode instead of just
Yeah,
leaving him out altogether, and
yeah.
he wasn't, as mischievous as he usually is, but maybe that also has to do with him not having Thor as his brother,
well, because
Yeah,
he
it
he
probably
doesn't
didn't need
plays
to.
both ways,
he's
yeah.
not the god of mischief, right? He's not the god of mischief technically in that multiverse.
Um,
He's
Yeah, yeah, technically
Loki.
he's not.
yeah,
Yeah, he's Loki. Uh,
Frost Giant.
Yeah, because
yeah,
when
but
you're when
what's
you're in
his last name?
Asgard, um, Laufeyson.
Yeah,
Lofison. There we
Lofison,
go.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Loki Laufeyson.
Lofison,
So
yeah.
I thought, I didn't really know what to expect from the Party Thor episode. I knew it was gonna be like comic relief and like a play at like
Yeah,
Thor, the movie itself, but it turned out to be a lot better than I thought.
yeah,
I liked the incorporation of Captain Marvel, and seeing them fight was
I think that was my
dope.
Right.
favorite part of the whole episode, just them fighting across the world like Invincible. You know how they
Well,
do
Yeah.
that in Invincible?
this is hands down my favorite
Mhm.
episode, but it's not only that, but like we get a lot of people from
Yeah,
the MCU in
Howard
it,
the Duck,
and even if they're yeah, we
Yes.
get and they're just like scattered around.
so many
Yeah.
Like
aliens.
Thor has the ability to pull these people together just to party.
Mhm.
So and then especially getting the scrolls like, "Now you do me." Like,
I think when he
Yeah.
was leaving, he's like, "Alert the realms," or something like that, and that they're
Yeah.
going to Midgard and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is probably the dopest part of that episode, and I feel like it's one of those episodes that if you watch it over and over again, you're gonna find somebody new that you missed
Yeah,
just in the
for sure.
background. I'm sure that the creators had a good time, kind of like
With that
who can we
episode, for
put?
sure.
Yeah, who can we put in it? And I bet that there's even people that we haven't seen come to the MCU as yet
Yeah.
that we just didn't recognize or
Mm.
didn't
that they
see the
just
form that they're
got
in.
thrown in there.
There's,
Right.
Exactly.
this episode is a lot more lighthearted than most. I think,
Mhm.
if not the most lighthearted one,
Right.
because of other than the ending, it was literally, I think the Watcher was talking to, I think he was about, it's kind of like a happily ever after type thing, and then
Mhm.
the whole thing caught him off guard, and out of nowhere, just Ultron appeared in this episode
Yeah.
for like
Well,
a few seconds. Yeah,
right. Well, so it comes full circle, right? It comes full circle from it being very lighthearted compared to the other episodes that are very serious, very dark, but also hints to something greater being,
yeah,
greater being done. Which, of
Mhm.
yeah.
course, we
Something the
get that
Watcher
with
can't
seeing
even
Ultron,
see coming.
which is
I,
nuts, bro. It's literally
he
just like the way Jonathan Majors or Kang was just like, I fibbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's like, I
up to a
can't
certain
see
point.
everything, but I don't
Mhm.
think the Watcher actually knew that he couldn't see something coming. I think
Mhm.
he always thought he could see, like, whatever's coming, so
Mhm.
that definitely surprised him, and you can tell by the way he was reacting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely.
pretty cool
So,
episode, though.
yeah, I
Very
liked
cool.
it. I like that it took place in Vegas. I like
Yeah,
just kinda like
Vegas. I love Vegas.
the
It's so
aesthetic.
fun.
I know
He
Vegas is
called
great.
my mom.
He called my mom, yeah. Yeah, Frigga was in it, and then,
Yeah.
it was funny when nobody wanted to clean up, and then he's like, "Alright," and he gets, like, all loud, he's like, "You will listen to me. My
My
mother
mother
is
is
coming,
Frick. Everybody
and
at the same
she
time.
is mad." Everybody's like, "Frigga."
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so that's
She's not one to play with. She
yeah.
Not
taught
at
Loki
all, bro.
all of his magic,
Mhm.
which is why he's not the god of mischief because Frigga taught him
Exactly.
the magic, but
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought that it was nice for the actors to kind of let loose, especially like
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth. He got to be the
Especially Chris
most
Hemsworth.
Thorist Thor that he could ever
Yeah.
become, and
Yeah, that was
so that's
like,
pretty dope.
obviously, he was all bronze, no brains.
No
So
brains.
Right.
yeah, that was pretty cool, and Jane still was the one to encounter him first, kinda.
Absolute point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there's some things that will never change throughout
Yeah.
the universes. There's just some things
Mhm.
that are, even if it's a little different, that one point will always meet, I think.
Mhm.
Like
So
this
that's a
podcast.
so it's a
I dig that.
reoccurring,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a reoccurring thing throughout all universes, just this absolute point. So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. This
Yep.
next episode,
They just
episode
ramp it up.
8, What If Ultron Won?
Right. So it
This
basically picks up where the hint left off on episode 7, where we get Ultron, but we get Ultron if he was finally combined with the Vision.
Yeah.
If he got his body, if he
If he
was
got
able
if he
to.
got his
Yeah,
organic body.
exactly.
Yeah, I
And
think this is, like, my favorite episode for sure.
yeah, I'm
Like,
with you
this
on
one.
that. I'm with you on that for sure. This is the one that made me, aside from Strange
Mhm.
Supreme,
Yeah,
this is the
Mm,
one that like I
that
feel
one's
like
number 2 for sure.
yeah, just narratively I was just kind of like, okay, this can go somewhere. And I thought it was gonna be, honestly, when like I thought it was gonna be just him getting Vision's body and then like something to do with Scarlet Witch and like maybe
mm.
like a WandaVision kind of
Yeah.
like change that they were gonna do. But as soon as they showed Thanos coming through and then he just like lit him up and then he took the stones, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is going in a completely different direction than I thought that it was gonna go, and
Yeah,
this
no.
is nuts
I
right
mean,
now.
I remember seeing the Vision Ultron poster, before the whole season even started, and I saw the stones on him, but I was like, "Oh, maybe he's a part of the Guardians of the Multiverse."
Mhm.
Right.
I didn't really pieced together that he was gonna be a villain, because also I think Thanos was on the poster, so I was like, "Oh, Thanos is gonna be the villain." And
Mhm.
you would just see Vision, and you think, "Oh, Vision was able to tame Ultron, and they're able to be one," but it's
Mhm.
actually the opposite. So that's it kind of was a little, like, kinda like a little, trick, I guess, that they played,
Yeah.
like, they kinda put him in, like, what is it? Plain sight, and we just were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, no, that's not the villain, that's the
I
villain."
was really hoping that James Spader was gonna voice Ultron,
Mhm.
like, throughout the whole
Man,
thing, man. I
it's very
wish.
that was the only underwhelming thing for me, was not having a as powerful voice as James Spader, if not James
I
Spader.
still like the
Mhm.
name I still like the voice
Did a good
of
job,
Ultron,
definitely,
though.
for
Yeah, he
sure.
did a really good
Mhm.
job. He seemed kind of robotic in a sense. I think there was
Mhm.
the part of that episode where Natasha calls him and she's like, "Can I order a large pizza?" And he's like, "Who is this?" And
Mhm.
he's like, "I am searching your geo coordinates," or something like that. I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh,
Mhm. Yeah, showing the kind of, the brutal aftermath. I mean, I
oh
really
man."
wish that they would've had Hawkeye the Winter Soldier with his robotic arm. That would've been
Mm,
dope. That I thought that they were going that route, but, just showing, like, the dystopian, everything just got messed up and kind of, like, showing how that happened, kinda going into the backstory of that, and they just happen to be in space or else, because that was a big thing for a lot of people for Age of Ultron, is him getting into the internet. People were like, "Okay, well, movie should have been over already. Like, if he's in
nah,
the internet now, like, it's a wrap, like, for all of the information that he can get." So, I liked how What If kinda showed, like, yeah, he would've went after the nukes. Like, that's the easy call, sent them off before anyone could do anything,
yeah.
and here we go.
Yeah, no, the dystopian look, pretty much them, Natasha Romanoff and Clint being the only people left on Earth to defeat an AI. I think he had the stones already because
Yes.
that's Thanos pretty much
Mhm,
got split in half,
mhm.
So
and they
easily,
pretty much had to
man.
they had to
That
fight.
that was a little plot hole. That was like a plot device. Like, come on, fam. Like Thanos
Hey,
isn't gonna. I
I
mean,
think
come
it kinda
on.
just shows
How
because
else
I
was he
mean,
how else was he supposed to get the stone so easily for it to be kept
Vision
up with the
I mean, it would
episode?
have
Vision
been
was
great to
never
at least see them fight each other. Like, at least try a little bit.
Yeah,
I
but it
think
keeps pointing to the fact that Thanos is done. Like, it's on to the next phase, you know what I mean?
yeah, I
And they
think
keep
more so about the whole, like, fight and him splitting him so easy is, like, Vision was never healthy when he encountered Thanos, so he couldn't do that at first, but it just
yeah,
goes to show if Vision was healthy, he woulda
Yeah.
easily like, it woulda
And if
been
he had
done.
like a killer instinct, like Vision
Yeah,
was too innocent.
mhm, yeah, he
Ultron
would
was like,
hesitate, yeah,
yeah, Ultron took out Jarvis like in a heartbeat. So
right.
Ultron was ready for that action at any time. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna just annihilate this guy real quick.
Yeah,
I don't need to know anything about him. I'm not curious about him.
yeah,
I'm
I just
curious
want
about
what's
what he
on him.
has."
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and the armor he made was super cool, it looks like a knight. I
Yeah,
thought
that
that
was
was
sick.
really cool. Um, yeah, other than
do
that, I mean, this what were you gonna say?
do you guys think now, before we jump into the finale episode, um, since the multiverse is a thing, as we know in the MCU, and what if we know that it now is tied in, are we getting a live action Watcher?
We
I don't
do
know.
have live action watchers already. I don't know if it'll be Jeffrey Wright. They could,
I
technically they
hope that
could,
they don't, honestly. I like the design
I agree.
the watchers
yeah,
already.
of the Watchers already,
Mm,
that were in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that they
right.
look great, and I'd rather keep that. If they, like, make Jeffrey Wright into a Watcher, I'd be a little
I think they can
disappointed.
still make it look how they want and use his voice
Use his
maybe.
voice for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
wouldn't mind that.
Pull a Silver Surfer
but
type,
may
like,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
voice.
yeah,
they
it was
just might
yeah.
they might just keep him in What If, I mean, he's like the staple character. Obviously, he's
Right,
a narrator, so
right.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep him where he's at.
It was just
Probably
so
the best move.
crazy when Ultron discovered him,
Yeah.
you know?
Not even the
That was
Watcher was realizing literally, the Watcher was
yeah,
narrating
He was
as he was
yeah.
finding out about him.
yeah.
He
It
senses
was beautiful.
a greater being, not in his universe.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
I
beautiful. I
feel
was like,
you.
"Yo, that's so dope that, like,"
Yeah.
but then also, like, you're kinda dumb, like, you're just saying this, like, where's your teleprompter? Like, what are you reading off
Yeah.
of? And you can't tell. that, hey, this is about to be bad.
Yeah, and
Not
then he
only
turned
that,
around and he looked at him. He's like, "Oh,
Yep.
not only that, bro, but the Watcher had hands, bro. I was really happy.
yeah."
I
We're
was
gonna see
His
like,
that in
armor,
the
his
next
armor
episode.
was crazy too.
Yeah, yeah. In the
His
next
armor was
episode, it kind of
crazy.
was that. No, no, no. No. That was
No,
in that episode.
in that
He put
episode
on the armor,
they were fighting
and
through the
yeah, they
multiverses.
did like a Dragon Ball Z type of fight, like it
Mm,
smashed around through places. And that was really dope how they went to the Star Wars locations, or at least
yeah,
locations that look like it, because
mm.
you go into Mustafar and going to that other
I
planet. I
didn't
was
pick that
like,
up.
this is crazy. It's so dope.
Yeah.
I
That one
saw
also reminded me of Invincible. Like,
Yes.
smashing
Yeah,
through
that was the
everything.
type of invincible fight,
Yeah.
for
So
sure, for sure. And like, yeah, like I was looking up some still shots after that episode, and somebody like zoomed in and you can kind of see Darth Vader's castle like
oh, wow.
in the
Yeah,
mm,
corner a
I
little
did
bit.
see
So
that. I
it
remember,
was sick.
I sent that photo to my friends, and they're like, "Is that really in there?" They're like, "Is Darth Vader like, do they show Darth Vader?" I'm like, "Nah, they just have the castle."
But it's kinda cool because, like, it just reminds me of Star Wars
Yeah.
Visions where, we're not doing a
right,
quick dive on that, but it kinda has this multiverse effect, and, like,
Mm,
now that I'm thinking about it, you might as well take Star Wars that route. Like,
right.
that's
yeah.
the only way that we're gonna get really,
Yeah.
really good
It's
stories
it's
from that.
definitely not the first Star Wars Easter egg though in What If, so I
Not at
think
all.
No.
they're definitely hinting towards something. I guess maybe
Yeah.
that's not canon, because that's probably the only way they can really do it.
Mhm.
But
Well,
yeah.
now that we know the Watcher has hands, we can kind
Super
of jump.
hands.
Bro, like like whoever created the Watcher had to know,
Celestials.
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it just lets us know as well, like the Watcher's stronger than Thanos, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because this Thanos got washed, bro. So
Yeah,
the
I
fact that the
mean,
Watcher was able to keep up,
the Watcher says he's like, you can't comprehend the power that I obtain," or something like that.
Yeah, you can't
So
comprehend my will.
I don't think he really was using his full potential. I think he was holding back
definitely, and
because
that's because in the back of his head, he's thinking, "I can't break my oath."
I'm interfering already, not because I chose to, but because it happened. So I should already hold back what I could.
I
Um,
feel like I should know the answer to like who created the Watcher because that's probably been said before in
mhm,
Right,
comic books. I don't think it's the Celestials because the Celestials technically are for each universe. So
mhm.
they would still
mm,
fall
Well,
under that category.
the Celestials were pretty much they made the Watchers to watch like the plants. So you know how like Eagle planted um like those plants on
Yeah.
Earth and
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Watchers were
yeah,
supposed to watch that technically.
mm,
Mhm.
So the Celestials were the ones pretty much who were putting them there, and the Celestials can watch all of them. So that's when they created the
yeah.
Watchers. I saw a video on it. I'm not really too like
Nice.
keen on it, but that's what I heard. So I was like, oh,
So
okay.
I wonder if we're gonna get some of that in Eternals, since we are gonna see the Celestials,
Mm,
um,
yeah,
and what they create.
possibly,
So exciting
possibly. But
stuff.
yeah,
Gang.
for this last episode,
Episode 9.
episode 9, Guardians of the Multiverse. What is
Yes.
that's the
The official
episode?
title is episode 9, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? So obviously we get that in episode 8 where Watcher already breaks his oath by fighting Ultron, but yeah, he takes it a little bit further without, I guess, him being the one to break the
Yeah.
oath, more so him defeating Ultron, where he
Yeah,
puts
him
together
just defending himself, of somebody, like, basically coming after him.
right. So he establishes the Guardians of the Multiverse. So we have, let's see, we have T'Challa Lord, and this is so amazing because we're getting everybody from basically every episode.
Mhm.
Almost.
At one point,
There's
at
a few
one
people
point,
where I was like, "Why didn't this person join? Or why didn't
right.
that person join?" Or
So just to go down the
Yeah.
list, we get Captain Carter, First Avenger, right?
'Kay.
We do get T'Challa Lord.
Mhm.
mhm,
We do get Doctor Strange Supreme,
Mhm.
dope. I was glad to see him back.
Eric Killmonger, and then we
Interesting
get
choice.
That's
definitely
the one I was like, "Hmm," but
right,
I kinda got I kinda got why at the end.
right.
Mm.
And then of course we get Thor, the only child Thor,
Party
and
Thor.
one party Thor, and then
Yeah,
one more that we'll touch base on. No, let's kind of just touch base on it now to get
yeah.
it out the way.
Natasha Romanoff?
Mm, not the one I'm thinking of, but yes, we get Natasha
Oh,
Romanoff,
not
but
the one. Who else
Who are you
could it be?
thinking? Oh,
Gamora.
Gamora.
Oh yeah, Gamora.
So
Yes.
Forgot
what?
Gamora.
So for those that don't know, I'll just touch base on it real quick. Then we'll jump back into episode 9. There was supposed to be 10 episodes of What If. What ended up happening was due to the pandemic, the animation in the episode was not ready. So I'm just going to read it verbatim really quick. AC Bradley, the showrunner for What If, said basically what happened was we originally had an episode planned for earlier in the season that was fun, lighthearted, living, breathing, Tony Stark
Lighthearted one.
centric episode with Gamora. And basically, we get Gamora, who was the sole survivor of Sakaar, and she successfully killed Thanos. So
Mhm.
we get her in getting pulled in, and then we get the funny little nod, like, "No, Stark, not you." And we see
Mhm.
Tony Stark in the Hulkbuster outfit, one that's very fitting for space. And that episode is actually supposed to come into fruition. Season 2 of
Yeah.
What If.
Yeah, that should be
Wow.
cool. I'm excited
Yeah,
for that. I
I'm
mean,
excited for that. It
I
sucks
thi
that they didn't include it, but
yeah, because I mean, when he went to go recruit Gamora, I was like, "What's going on?" I was like,
yeah.
"What is going on here? Like, what
Right.
happened?" Like,
So I
seeing
paused the
Tony's
episode.
yeah,
I paused the episode and went back to the episode list, like, yo, did I miss a week? Like, am I
Yeah.
yeah,
tripping? And I
Yeah.
was like, no. And then I looked it up right away, and
yeah.
it says it got delayed.
Because they even put out the poster, like, I think the week of,
They did.
the episode was gonna come out. It was Gamora, and I was like, "Oh, we're finally getting the Gamora episode,"
Mhm,
and then
Right.
mhm.
no, and not even. So I was like, "What the heck? That's weird."
Yeah.
I wish they
Yeah.
would've kinda told us that early on so that way you kinda
So
see
it's a
Me
coming.
good
too.
thing though, because we do get it hinted, and we do see that Tony Stark and Gamora are either a team, they could be
Yeah,
partners,
it's hard
like
to tell,
it
really.
exactly.
Mhm,
And then we do get the funny little nod to no Stark, not you. And I did see a meme that was like, no, you can't come because you're gonna get got again. So I'm saving your life.
mhm.
Just that
So
whole that duel alone, just, like, you try to think how can they meet, and it just doesn't click, doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, but they do it somehow, so that's cool.
what
Yeah.
if season 2? I am excited for you. That's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
For
And
sure.
so let's jump back into episode 9. So we get the Guardians of the Multiverse, and then the Watcher does bring them all into a pub setting, which is from Captain Carter's memories
Mm.
of her and Steve Rogers, which is kind of brought up at the end of the episode. Um,
Mhm.
but he tells them their mission. And I get so hype and overwhelmed with like, yo, we're gonna see all these like basically a brand new Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Pretty much.
Guardians of the Multiverse, yeah, pretty much.
It's an Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a full team up, which Marvel loves to do, and with characters that we haven't seen at all
Right.
team
I
up,
mean,
let alone
Killmonger and
yeah, it
Black
was really crazy.
and not even I mean,
Mhm.
technically not Black Panther, Killmonger, and, T'Challa were
Yeah,
so
and
that's
you know what I also like? I like that Strange Supreme has absorbed so much that he's almost a Watcher himself. Like
Right.
he's able to communicate with the Watcher in a way that the Watcher feels like he has a friend kind of now, like
yeah, he
somebody
says it at the end.
who
He's
could
like,
just
"What
like
are
talk
friends
to him.
for?"
Yeah,
That's
and
what he
it's just
mentions,
like
yeah.
it's super cool to me because like when he went back to that point, that was like a good interconnectivity of all of the episodes. It's like,
Mhm.
Right.
yeah, you should go back to that pocket dimension where there's nothing there because that's only a place where you can hide. And
Yeah,
Strange Supreme is just like, welcome back, man.
yeah,
Yeah. Not only that, but
yeah.
we don't even know, like, there's no concept of time at all. So we don't know behind the scenes that
Oh.
wasn't shown on screen how much that Strange Supreme and the Watcher actually talked.
That's true.
I think that was the only time. I think
Mm.
because he
I would
left
assume
after that.
more, but again, I could be completely wrong and just
Yeah. Yeah, because
overthinking it.
that
Yeah.
he would be interfering, and that would break his oath,
Mhm.
type of thing. But
One of
I'm
the cool things that I was gonna say, my fault, didn't mean to cut
you're
you
good.
off, but the inclusion of Winter Soldier
Hmm.
in the episode of like Captain Carter going through the Winter Soldier situation
Ah,
of
yeah, at the
like
Right.
beginning.
fighting
Batroc.
Batroc. Yes, it
Yeah.
was so fire that they did the boat scene. I was like, this is one of the greatest Captain America scenes ever that we've ever seen,
Right.
and they recreated it pretty awesome. And George
Mhm.
St. Pierre, reprised his
Yeah,
role
he's
as
not dead.
Batroc, and I love it. I love it.
He's
I
not
think it's
dead.
so
I
cool that he got that
and
role.
I think they'll go back to it. I mean, they kinda hinted towards something for season 2, so that means Batroc is still alive technically in that
Yeah.
universe, which is
Hmm.
cool to see George St. Pierre to not lose his job after
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, the episode is really action-packed. Um the stones look cool. The animation was just really cool. Thor shouting "Viva Las Vegas,"
I'm dead.
and
I
That was
nothing
say
happening
ridiculous.
to
I have
Ultron when he, like, is zapping him.
yeah.
He's like, "What?" Like, "What?"
He's like,
That
I
was
can say I've
absurd.
never heard that battle call before.
Yeah,
It's like, "Fam, I'm full of vibranium and have the Infinity Stones."
That's
It's
yeah.
what
an
I'm
absolute
saying.
nightmare. It's literally a nightmare. It's
Mhm.
the most powerful thing that we've ever seen in the
Mm,
MCU, technically, and I think that they displayed it really well. You know, Strange Supreme had to pull
He
out
was just as
every
strong.
everything he could. Everything he could,
Yeah, and I
you
like that
know?
they set that episode up early, so it really sits with you, like, knowing that, what's gonna happen with Doctor Strange. Even when he was sitting alone, it's like, "Oh, he'll be back for sure."
Mhm.
right.
Though something's gonna happen, and Doctor Strange literally was the MVP of the episode.
Of the whole
Um,
season.
yeah, of the whole season. I mean, really, with the protection spell, he helped everybody, and eventually Ultron noticed, "If I kill you, I kill everybody easy," because he was getting frustrated. He's like, "I've killed people with a single thought. Like,
Mhm.
why
Right.
won't you die?" And then at that point, he really just unleashes, like, I don't even know what it is. It's like a blast or like some type of, it's like like an ongoing blast. It does not
Mhm.
stop, and
Right.
everybody's just kinda, like, in place, can't move. Doctor Strange is trying to hold it back as much as they can, and this is where the episode before kinda ties, um, Natasha Romanoff back in
Right.
because of the arrow, what is it?
The
The
USB,
virus?
it
Yeah,
basically,
that they
we
got from
have
Zoloft.
we get
Because
Zolof's
in
So
Winter
algorithm.
Soldier, yep, in
s
Winter Soldier, they basically go to the bunker again, and
uh,
they absorb Zoloft into an arrow.
Arnim
Um,
Zola.
yeah,
I know I was saying Zoloft, my bad. Zola.
Zola,
Arnim
yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Um,
But yeah, no, I thought that was cool that there's still
mhm,
Armin Zola somewhere, and I think even Natasha said that, yeah, like, "Yeah, we didn't get rid of them all," like, but, what is it? Hydra doesn't die, it multiplies.
yeah, and it was
Mm,
cool that it went back to her universe, like, to fight everybody, because they knew that if they fought him in any other universe, it's gonna annihilate everyone,
Yeah,
so might as well go to like, a desolate place. At
mhm,
the same time, Killmonger is over there scheming.
yeah.
stay scheming.
I don't know. At first I was like, "Why didn't they get Captain Marvel or the Hulk or,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know, the actual Vision?"
Captain Marvel tried to fight him, and it didn't work.
But that was in a different universe because
Yeah.
there was multiple Captain Marvels and that he could have picked from.
As far as we
Yeah.
know, it's an absolute point for her to get washed by him. So you never know, man.
Don't
We gotta
sleep
use
on
our
Captain
theory.
Marvel.
I think that they did so much fan service for Captain Marvel in the original in the main MCU that they were like, "Yeah, let's just, we'll show that she's powerful, but she doesn't need to be the star in this
Sheesh.
one."
It's
She's
like
so powerful.
really, really powerful mid movie.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
No, it was
Nah.
crazy when they unleashed, the zombies. I was like, "Oh, wow," like, they brought the zombies in,
Yes, that was my
and,
favorite callback of the season is that
Mhm.
we get
yeah.
well,
Although
not
I
only
was
that
hoping that we got Thanos zombie. That's who I thought was gonna pop in, or
he would
Spider-Man.
have got washed. No,
I'm surprised that
I think
Washer
that
didn't bring
timeline is
Spider-Man.
gonna that timeline's gonna oh, yeah, that timeline I think will take place in next season.
in next season, yeah. So what
Mm,
I was thinking was gonna happen is that well, I mean, it kind of happened. We get zombie Wanda, the zombie Scarlet Witch,
Mhm.
mhm,
seeing another vision.
mhm,
Yeah. I think she realized that too, but she realized it wasn't him because
Right.
she can feel him, but obviously the zombie Wanda isn't as strong. I mean, we even saw that with Clint when he was a zombie, he missed, when she never misses.
mhm.
So yeah, I
Mm,
mean, it was pretty cool though to see her fight him and then obviously get
I
obliterated.
I bet that in the timeline of them getting to Thanos zombie and, like, them thinking that it's all over, that's when they actually disappear into the other multiverse, and, that kinda saves them because 'cause they're like, "Oh, snap. We don't have to fight the zombies."
Yeah,
And then that's gonna continue the episode, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, from there, so,
yeah. We'll see.
um, yeah, that's the only thing. I feel like we shoulda had Sorcerer Spidey in the Guardians of the
Mm.
Multiverse, that would have been a nice
So
Yeah,
little
just
addition.
it just leaves a good chunk of of
Mm,
what's to come, right?
yeah,
that's true.
Like Marvel definitely didn't disappoint us with this series.
Mhm,
And I say series because I mean, obviously, like it's not just a season where we get, WandaVision, that's one season. We get
mhm,
just one
Loki,
story. Yeah,
that's a series, but we also get Falcon Winter Soldier, that's a season, right?
mhm.
So I'm looking forward to like what's to
yeah,
come, what other what ifs we're gonna get and get things to tie
yeah.
together. Um,
Bruh.
it's just so it's not even just fan service, bro. It's just like we're getting
They're getting
brand new
creative.
content. We're getting
They're
brand
getting
new
creative.
content. We're watching these
Mhm,
comics come to life. Like it's
mhm.
just so crazy and something that I don't think any of us would have fathomed
Yeah,
10 years
no.
ago if this was talked
Nah,
about.
not at all. Not at all, man. And who knows who we can get live action because a lot of these actors
Killmonger.
are still playing these characters. So,
Yep.
the
I think
episode
Killmonger.
ends with Killmonger absorbing
The
getting the
stones.
Infinity Stones, and Zola ends up taking over Vision's body, and they are
Mhm.
trapped in a power struggle, which I thought was pretty crazy that they picked Killmonger to get the stones. Um it just
I
goes to show, like, how powerful, like, he gets to, like, I don't know
yeah.
what he's gonna do even with that kind of power, like,
Well,
what he would do.
he said he's like, "We can get everything we ever wanted," because it goes back to me saying the absolute point, like, the only way Eric Killmonger can be Black Panther and not be
Mhm.
messed with is if he uses the stones. Same thing with Doctor Strange, if he uses the stones, he gets the love of his life back. Peggy gets, Steve
Steve.
back, and
Right.
Mhm,
Natasha gets her world back, you know?
mhm,
Like, that's what he saw, but I think the reason they used Eric is because they knew that there was gonna be, because Doctor Strange said it, he's like, "We were never supposed to win. We were just
mhm.
supposed to separate the stones from the body, and the only
Right.
way to do that is if somebody was able to figure out how to take the stones off, so easily, I guess, I don't know, because if
Yeah,
it wasn't gonna be Eric, it was gonna definitely be, um
Zola.
Zola, and that probably would have been the same thing. So it had to be 2 people trying to fight over it, and that was the
yeah,
point. Doctor
and
Strange was
then
like, "Alright, this is it.
Not
This is
only
the way we
that, but
gotta
the
do it."
Watcher is helping that specific universe out by pulling Killmonger out of that situation.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
happy
that's true.
ending.
It seems
Happy
like it's
ending.
a
Yeah.
win-win for everybody, and, I liked how they did it, and Natasha played a pretty big role, also, and, I love, just, like,
Yeah.
where they took her, how they kinda showed, like, "Hey,
That was
this is a
cool. I love
universe
that
that
they
doesn't
That
showed
have
that
lost her.
universe
Natasha."
again.
Yeah, yeah, I
Captain
thought that was
America
dope.
and Captain Marvel is just so dope. That's something we haven't seen before,
Mhm.
and that was
Right.
Yep.
so cool to see them fighting together,
Yeah.
and yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. It
Yep.
was really
So I
cool.
thought that was
Overall,
awesome.
boys, I need your guys' ratings for season one of What If.
I give
Uh,
it a 7. I
A
give it a
7 out
7.
of 10. Okay.
I give it a 7
I
out of
give it an
10.
8. Yeah, 8.
I would give it about an 8 as well. I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is just a start. I wanna give them
Animation's gonna
room
get
to
better.
Yeah, I wanna give them room to get even better than this. So I
Mm.
kinda like, I think that, even though, Vision Ultron is exciting,
What can
I
they
think
do now?
what can they do exactly? But, like, you have the Loki shows, you have Falcon that hasn't really been brought into it as Captain America, you have, Kang that could be in it, you have all of these other characters that are starting to get introduced that are getting a little bit more
Yeah,
prominence.
this is literally
So,
like
I'm
phase
excited.
1 through 4 movies, or 1 through
Right.
4?
1
Yeah,
through 3.
1 through 3 movies,
Mhm.
and really nobody else after that. Like, we'll get
No,
a Shang-Chi, I think.
exactly. We
Maybe,
might even get an Eternals. That'll be
Right.
crazy, So,
yeah,
like, there's
there's a lot that they can do.
we can get Fantastic Four, we can get mutants, we can get so much that they have on the horizon of what's to come. So I'm pretty excited about how it's gonna go, and I think that Marvel's taking a positive step in the right direction.
Right.
Yes.
Overall, I think Marvel's found a great way to bring back old fans if they've lost them or continue to grab those new fans and kind
Mhm.
of just keep the generation going. Because obviously it started 10 years ago. We were kids 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So compared to how
Speak
old
for
we are
yourself.
now. Look, man, not all of us can be as old as you, but nonetheless, I'm excited
Yeah.
to watch season two with you
Yeah,
guys.
when that
And of
comes
course,
Yeah.
out.
just continue podcasting with you guys. If you guys have a podcast that you want to start up, hit up Productive Culture. Shout out to them empowering the stream.
Yes, sir.
productiveculture.com/podcast. I'm the Soundflick boy sent you. That being said, we relatively kept the quick dive quick, boys. Very proud of us.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, but
Sort of.
we're working on it.
Yeah.
It's a long season. It's a long season. We did. Come on now. But yeah, thank you again, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.